Hello everyone. So this is part 3 of Jetways tutorial, and this tutorial we are going to add lights to the Jetway. Now I already have the lights there, but I hide them, and then I'm gonna show you how I did that. So you can see we have two lights on the bottom. We also have a light there, and also I'm going to show you how to add a rotating beacon light. So let's start with the lights here on the bottom and on the top. So the way I do it, we're gonna select a door. Let's go to edit mode, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and select this mesh. As you can see, it's like a mirror, right? So the textures here for that light, I bring the roughness all the way down to 0. Metallic factor I put it to 70 just to create that effect. You can actually put it lower than 70, doesn't have to be that, but the roughness, to be 0. So what's gonna happen, it's gonna create that effect like a mirror, right? So for this light on the top, because it's kind of like inside, and we have these walls, right, surrounding the light. Actually, we can just add a light there. So I'm gonna click Shift S2 to bring the cursor right there, right? And let's go to object mode, and here we're gonna go ahead and add a light. Add, and then we're gonna say light, and for this particular light we're gonna add a point actually, right? And I'm gonna bring it in front and position it somewhere around there, so when the lights turn on, it's gonna actually, let's see if we go to the, there you go. So if we go to the night, I can just bring it down a little bit, right? And as you can see in the mesh, you kind of see the light there, right? That's about it for this light, right? So, and then you can play around, modify the color of the light, how strong the light to be, right, based on your preferences, right? So for this, we are going to name the light, because we need to add this in the XML file, and I'm going to show you in a little bit. For this light to turn on only when the jetway moves, and then it will turn off while when the jetway stop moving, right? So in my case, I just name this light upper underscore light. Now you can name it whatever you want, and that's the name. Now it added 001 because I already have one. See, it's right here, upper light, right? So basically it's gonna be whatever name you add, right? And what you need to do is select the light, then select, right, the door, and then Control P, and then you'll click object. You're gonna parent this light to the door, so you make sure it moves along with the door, right? And that's about it for this light. I didn't do nothing else, right? So I'm gonna delete this because I already have it. So I'm just gonna add, that's my light there, and you can see this line right here shows that it's parent. So now if it moves together with uh, with the door. Let's finish the light, because on the bottom I use different technique, because it's on the bottom here. The light, the mesh, it's not gonna look realistic. So we're gonna do exactly what I did for this light on the top. So let's go back to the day. So I'm gonna go again in edit mode, and this time I'm gonna select both meshes. So what I did, I just hit shift duplicate, enter, and then right click, and then I'm gonna say separate selection. Right, let's go in edit object mode, and if I click here, as you can see, I have the meshes here, so I can bring the origin to geometry, and then I'm just gonna move this. In my case, it's in X, right? I'm gonna move it just a little bit to the front, right? You can go, let's say 0.002, right? And then it'll bring the meshes just a little bit up front. Now for this, I'm gonna add a texture, right? Let's see, this is test, whatever, name the texture the way you want, and then we're gonna add a standard texture, base color white. I'll leave it white, and then I'm gonna go emission color. I'm gonna bring it all the way up. We don't need to do day and night circle, and if you want to do the roughness, you can bring it to 0. This one, it really doesn't matter. So this is how we trick. Basically, we're gonna add the mesh with the maximum emission, and then I'm gonna name this lights turn on. I guess that's what I name it, right? And then this one, again, you're gonna have to select them, and then select your door, and then Control P object, and you parent them to the object, and then this is how it looks, right? That's my meshes there, and then the name, again, you can name it whatever you want, but that's the name we're gonna add into the XML file. So lights underscore turned underscore on. Again, I name it like that, then we parent it to make sure it moves with the door. Also here, so, I'm gonna bring the cursor there, so when adding more, select that mesh. I'm gonna say Shift S2, bring the cursor there, go back in object mode, and here we're gonna add a light. So I'm gonna add a light, and this time I'm gonna do a spotlight, right? We're gonna rotate in Y 90 minus, right? And then here rotate in 1, and then you position the light whatever you want. Now you can move it up front a little bit, you can position the way you want, and then again you're gonna click on the light, click on the door, Control P object, make sure you parent the light to the door, because you want the light as well to move while the door is moving, right? I'm gonna delete that because that's my lights right here. As you can see them, now they appear. So I just added 2 lights. Now I named this light again, and then I'll name it left underscore light, and then right underscore light, right? And then again you change the color, change the power of the light. You can even do the distance if you want. See, like the distance is too, it's okay, I left it like that. It's really not that important. So once you did that, right, so we have the left and right light, and then we have the upper light. Now you can download this code from my Discord channel. I'm gonna have an XML file there. Then after that, it's just copy and paste. You just change the names of ID and the node. So we have left, right, left light, then the same thing, right light, and then the upper light. So this three right here, these three right here are the lights themselves, right? Now this one, again, I copy that, and then these are the lights turn on, will be the meshes here. These guys right here will be the mesh that I call light turn on. Then the next two are for the beacon rotating light, and we're gonna do that next. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how I did the rotating beacon light. Okay, that's the glass. Let's hide this. And then I named this part right here cup, because it looks like a cup. So this part right here, actually, we're gonna create an animation. So if I let's say rotate in Z, it's gonna rotate like this, okay? And that's why I have 3 different objects. And the reason and then I have the base, right? The base, the cup, and then the glass. Now the reason I separate them so I can access easy this part when we do the animation. Now, okay, so to make my life easier, I'm gonna select the base, right? I have the origin in the middle there. So I'm gonna Shift S to bring the cursor there, and actually I'm gonna add here, we're gonna add empty, right? And this empty, name it whatever you want. So what we're gonna do, so I'm gonna do it on the right side. I'm gonna select this by holding Control here, base, cup, glass, and the last one, the rotating beacon, the empty, and I'm gonna say Control P as an object. So now everything is under that empty. Let's see, rotating beacon empty, so I know what's that, right? So now what I can do, if I wanna scale the whole thing, I just select the empty, click S, and scale it, and then it's gonna scale everything, just to make my life easier. Maybe a little bit too much. There you go, right? And then the empty, I'm gonna select the empty, and then hold Shift, select the door, Control P, object. So now, let's see if it did it or not. Yes, see? Now it's sticking to the doorway. Alright. The way I did this lights here for the rotating beacon, let's select the glass. I'm gonna go in edit mode, and then it really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna select those faces just to bring the cursor there. Shift S2, there you go. And here we're gonna go ahead and add a light. And this one, I'm not gonna do a point, I'm gonna do a spotlight. There you go. So now it's facing down, so we have to rotate it in X. Rotate in X 90 and minus this way. Okay. So I'm gonna move it a little bit somewhere on there, just to be outside the mesh. And okay, that's our light. Let's make it smaller a little bit, something like that. Then we're gonna go and we'll say we're gonna do like an orange color, and then power, let's go 20, and then we'll see what happens. Now the distance, it's a little bit too much here. I don't want the distance to be so. Custom distance, let's go 10. I think 10, it's gonna be just good enough. Okay, something like that. Now, like this part, you guys have to play around and see how it looks. So right now, that's how it looks. I mean, you don't see anything because we don't have anything yet, but it's gonna make sense in a little bit. Okay, so that's one of the lights. Now what I can do, I can shift duplicate the light, right? I'm gonna go shift duplicate. I'm gonna move this guy just like that, and then I'm gonna say rotate in X was 180. So this one, it's actually facing the mesh. So now if I go to the night mode, you see it's creating this light, and then we can make it smaller, right? So we're going to make it smaller. Let's go to 1, and as you can see, I make it to look like it's a reflection of the cup in the back. There you go. Now let's see, custom distance, I'm gonna bring that one to 5, maybe even lower, maybe 2, maybe even lower than that. Let's see, let's drag it. It's something like that. There you go. I think it's good enough. Okay, let's go back. I'm gonna hide this glass for a second. So let's see, because so many. I'm gonna select that light. I'm gonna select the other light facing the beacon. I'm gonna hold shift. I'm gonna select the cup, and I'm gonna say Control P, object. So now if I select the cup, right, let's bring the glass, and I'm gonna rotate that in Z. See, the lights are following. All right, and that's good. I name the light that it's facing the beacon, the glass. I name that glass rotation, and then I name this light that it's going out, I name that beacon light. So here I just named the two lights. The rest of them it just stays the same. Right, so one is glass rotation, again it's the same code as before, and then beacon light, and that's what I did. Okay, so now that everything is parented here, let's hide this glass here so we have access to the cup. Now we're gonna add an animation to this cup. So we're gonna do, I'm gonna hide this guy, so let's go to timeline. I believe I set it to 45, right? The length of the animation to 45. So what we're gonna do now, make sure we select the cup. I hit I, and then rotation. Let's move the cursor all the way to 45. So I'm gonna say rotate in Z, 359. Right, axis Z, 359, and then I, rotation. So let's see. If I play it, there you go. Okay. Now with these two keyframes selected, let's click right click, interpolation mode, and we're gonna say linear. So now it should move smooth. And I think the speed is good. Let's go in the night. Let's bring the glass too, so you can see. So there you go. Alright, so now let's go ahead and go to none. Not there. Well, you can do it from here. But let's go to dub sheet, and then the animation that I set was cup, and then underscore rotation. Right, control copy. Let's enter that, push down. Let's go to non-linear NLA track, control V. I name it cup rotation. Now, bring the XML here. I'm gonna add a line there for rotation. Will be animation name cup rotation. You get a unique GUID, type standard, type parametric, autoplay. Make sure we add that, and then we can save and just build your project, and it should work. Okay, so let's start with the night. There you go. You have the beacon lights on, and then you have the lights on too, and then they will turn off once the jetway moves. I notice the beacon light is still rotating the cup, but it will stop at one point. I think it's the animation. Here you go. So now it just stopped. Let's go. Let's connect the jetways. Let's focus on the beacon light. There you go. I hope this helps. Until next time, happy flying.